And now, let's talk about comic books and books, shall we? We got some George R.R. Martin action going on, and it's not just Game of Thrones. We got a little bit of other stuff from him as well as Assassin's Creed comic book rather, coming out very soon. So let's talk about all the things. Welcome, nerds, to the comic books and book news for the week. This is where we talk about all things comic books and literature related. So if there's a new book coming out, we're not going to get into individual arcs necessarily, unless there's some sort of like major publisher-wide effects that are going to be related to said arc. We don't really get into individual arcs or individual issues. We just talk about the broader news at large. So without any further ado, let's talk about some comic books and possibly some books as well. So, regular ass news, we've got Winds of Winter. All it took was, a writer's strike, an actor strike, and Hollywood basically shutting down for George R.R. Martin to be like, all right, maybe I should get a little bit more work on that book done, huh? He claims that he is always working on Winds of Winter, but he has said very specifically, since all of the shutdowns in Hollywood have happened, that he is going to be working even harder on it because that's all he can do because everyone's on strike. So, if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes, and we get our final book from George R.R. Martin. But he also said in that same blog post on his website that he is doing some editing on a couple more of the wild card books, which is also very incredible because, we're sitting at like 25 books in that series right now, so that's pretty awesome. I'm here for it. I just hope that he keeps that focus even once the negotiations come to an end, and he can put out some more literature as well as some quality television once he's back to doing the television thing. So from there we have a new comic book announced for Halloween this year, and I just couldn't not talk about it. Captain America is doing a special arc called Capwolf, where Captain America becomes the lichen. He's a werewolf. He's a werewolf. Lycanthropy, yeah. It's going to be called. Oh crap! I just lost the thing. Capwolf. That's what it's going to be called. It's going to be Captain America and the Howling Commandos, which is going to feature Nick Fury directing said Howling Commandos. And the artwork for this just looks great. It's going to be written by Stephanie Phillips, and the artist for the series is Carlos Magno. And I've seen some of the art so far, and I think I dig it a lot. I'm not familiar with Stephanie Phillips and her writing, though she has done some bigger things, so she's pretty seasoned, it would seem. I'm just not familiar, so very intrigued. Let's move on. From there, we have a new comic book from Assassin's Creed. It's going to be published by Massive Publishing. It's going to be a creator-owned book. But did I not take the, really? Did I really do that? Apparently I didn't write down the creator's name. So yeah, that's pretty stupid of me, and I apologize, but it's coming. We have Massive Publishing is going to be putting out this October. It will be running through 2024 at the very least. No real details aside from that, though. And I might have not taken the note of the author or the writer because it hasn't been announced yet, but I think it has, and I'm just dumb. So yeah, that's what we got on Assassin's Creed. That's what we got for regular ass news and everything. So let's just do the thing with the suggestions for comic books and books this week. It's a book. It's Game of Thrones. It's the first book of the Song of Fire and Ice series, and yeah, it's a long read, but it's a good read. Martin is definitely a craftsman when it comes to prose, and you can't help but love these books. It was originally released in 1996. And it doesn't feel dated at all, really. It's fantasy of a completely different caliber, and you should absolutely go read it. Go check out Game of Thrones, the first book of Song of Fire and Ice from George R.R. Martin. Once again, nerds, this is just the comic books and books section from the Week in Nerddom, which is the much longer video that gets posted over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy or @generallynerdy, however you gotta find it. That's the main channel. You get the entire, usually around about an hour-long video there that goes into other topics as well, TV, movies, rumors, etc., etc. Go check that out. Before we leave you, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.